Hey there, if you're enjoying the stories I share on this channel, I'd be incredibly grateful if you hit that subscribe button. Your support drives me to keep creating more meaningful content. Thank you sincerely. Now, let's dive into today's story. I knew deep down I was crossing a line. My entire body felt it, a sinking feeling I couldn't shake. Yet, when I slipped the hotel key into the lock and opened the door, the last person I expected to see was standing inside. My husband. My heart nearly stopped. Everything began about 6 weeks ago. Marcus and I had been married for 9 years. To the outside world, we were the perfect couple, dependable, steady, secure. And that was exactly the problem. We were stuck in a loop. Work, dinner, sleep. Day after day of routine without passion, without surprises. I tried convincing myself it was a temporary rut. But then Julian entered the picture. Julian was part of the marketing team our company had recently partnered with. He was confident, charismatic, and most of all, attentive. He actually listened, really listened, and for the first time in a long while, I felt seen. It began innocently. Casual chats after meetings, then late-night texts. At first, I told myself it was harmless. But it wasn't. One Friday afternoon, I stayed in his car outside my office, our conversation flowing effortlessly, our laughter too easy. And then he leaned in and kissed me. I recoiled immediately, reminding him that I was married. He met my eyes and quietly said, "So am I." A heavy silence followed, neither of us knowing what to say. I could have ended everything right then, should have. But I didn't. We met again the next week. A different coffee shop. A different part of town. I told myself I was just trying to make sense of it. But we both already knew the truth. One night, after Marcus had gone to sleep, I stood in the kitchen staring at a message from Julian. Booked a room. Just to talk. No pressure. My fingers hovered over my phone. I typed no, then erased it. Then I wrote, okay. On the day of the hotel meetup, I told Marcus I was attending a women's networking event downtown. He barely glanced up from his laptop and nodded. A small part of me hoped he'd question it, see the guilt on my face. But he didn't. I arrived at the hotel earlier than planned. It was one of those boutique places, low lighting, expensive decor, velvet furnishings. My nerves were buzzing. I told myself I wasn't going to cross any lines, that I just needed to talk, that I could still walk away with dignity. I took the elevator to the 7th floor. Room 712. My hands shook as I held the key card. But when I opened the door, it wasn't Julian. Marcus stood by the window, arms crossed, face expressionless. His eyes burned with something I can't even describe, the kind of pain that only comes from betrayal. I froze. What are you doing here?" I whispered. He didn't respond right away. Calmly, he motioned to the chair opposite him, as if we were in a business meeting, not on the verge of a broken marriage. "I've been tracking you for a month," he said softly. "Not in person. Digitally." I saw the messages. The emails. The hotel booking. I needed to know if you'd really go through with it. I couldn't breathe. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. "You did." I sank into the chair, my knees unable to hold me. I didn't know whether to be ashamed, terrified, or furious. Maybe all three. I don't even know where to start," I said in a whisper. For the first time in years, he looked at me like I was a stranger. "Start with the truth." So I did. I told him everything. How Julian made me feel seen again. How lost I'd felt in our lifeless routine. How I should have walked away after that first kiss, but didn't. I confessed that nothing physical had happened yet, but I wanted it to. And that, I admitted, was already enough. He stared at me in silence. Then he stood and walked toward the door. Panic surged through me. "Marcus, please don't just walk away like this." "I'm not leaving," he said, voice eerily calm. "You are." The door closed behind me before I could say another word. As I stood in the hallway, numb, it hit me like a freight train. I had walked into that hotel expecting a secret encounter, but it turned into a confessional. Only this time, the person on the other side wasn't a priest. He was my husband, the man I had betrayed, and he had every reason to never forgive me. 3 days passed with no word from him. He stayed at a friend's place. I remained at home, too ashamed to tell a soul. Every time my phone buzzed, I hoped it was him, but it never was. Eventually, he returned. And when I saw him, I realized something inside him had shifted. His face looked the same, but his eyes were colder, distant. "I talked to Julian's wife," he said. "What?" I gasped. "She deserved to know." I felt sick. "You had no right." He cut me off. "And you had the right to betray me?" The room went quiet. He didn't yell. He didn't smash anything. And somehow, that hurt more than if he had. "I don't know if I want to stay married to you," he said. "But I'm not ready to make that decision yet." Then he laid down the terms. We'd start marriage counseling. I'd cut off Julian completely. I'd agree to total transparency, passwords, shared location, the works. It was humiliating. But I said yes. Because even though I'd shattered something sacred, I wasn't ready to lose Marcus. Therapy was brutal. We sifted through years of tiny cuts. The nights he buried himself in his laptop while I longed for connection. The days I stopped asking about his world. The silence that had built a wall between us long before Julian ever entered the picture. In one session, I broke down and said the words I had avoided since that night. "I thought you didn't love me anymore." He looked at me, eyes glassy. I didn't know how to show it, but I never stopped. "You didn't deserve that." Julian tried to contact me once more from a new number. Just one message: "I miss you. I'm sorry." I blocked him instantly, without replying. 8 months have passed since that night. We're still married, still in counseling. Some days, it feels like we're learning each other from scratch. Other days, we laugh again, really laugh. We've started leaving handwritten notes around the house. Sticky notes on the bathroom mirror. Silly, sweet, honest words. I told Marcus once, "I'll never forgive myself for what I almost did." He said, "I'm not asking you to. Just don't forget it." And I won't. I never expected Marcus to be the one waiting at that hotel room. But maybe, just maybe, that night saved us.